Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani. Keshwani. We are here because we want to learn algebra. Today is our lesson number 199. Day 199. We are in the process of solving word problems from day 101 through 200. And today is our 99th day of solving a word problem. The problem for today is already on the blackboard. Let's read it together, shall we? It says the sum of two numbers is 20. So we have two unknowns and their sum we are told is 20. We are also told that if we were to add 110, if 110 is added to one of them, the result is 9 times the other. Questions please, what are they? That's all. Let's do it together. Or better yet, so pause the video at this point, solve it yourself first before you continue watching. So here's the solution. Let's pretend that the numbers in question are x and y. Let's call them x and y. Why x and y? Because we are in creative mood today. Let's call them x and y. So their sum is 20. That's the first equation. So their sum, x plus y, equals 20. That's the first equation. Let's call it equation number 1. Second equation, we need two equations. We need two independent equations to solve for two unknowns. And the two independent equations are going to come from two sentences. The first equation came from the first sentence, the sum of the two numbers 20. That's this sentence right here. This is the algebraic equivalent of this English language. The sum of the two numbers is 20. Is means equal, is 20. If 110 is added to one of them, so let's add 110 to one of them. So let's add 110 to x. You can add 110 to x or to y, it's not going to make any difference. If we were to add 110 to one of them, the result, we are told, the result is and how do we translate that? The result is translated as equal sign. The result is 9 times the other. 9 times the other. That's all. So in this equation we have x here. Let's solve this equation for x and put it in here. So equation 1 implies, this first equation here implies that x must equal 20 minus y, which makes sense. Because if the sum of the two numbers is 20, then this x must be whatever is left over from 20 after we take away the other being y. So after you take away y from 20, whatever is left over must be the x because their sum has to be 20. Let's put this x value of x equals 20 minus y in here. So x equals 20 minus y. Let's put it in here. We got to get rid of this. Y from this side. Well, ordinarily, conventional tradition dictates that I bring the unknown to the left hand side. But if we were to do that, if we were to bring this 9y to this side, we'll end up with the unknown with a negative coefficient. I don't like negative coefficient. I like to keep my coefficient as positive as much as I can. So instead of bringing 9y to this side, let's bring the y to that side. So here we have a negative y. Here we have a positive. Let's add positive y to both sides. And this negative y and positive y will cancel out. And here we'll end up with 10 y's. 9y and 1y will give us 10y. And here you end up with 20 plus 110. 20 plus 110 is 130. Well, that's straightforward. If 10y is equal to 130, y must be 13. That's it. Y must be 13. Let's verify very quickly, shall we? Let's verify. always a good idea to verify. So if y is 13, x would have to be 7. If y is 13, then the other number, if one number is 13, the other would have to be 7, because their sum has to be 20. And that x equals 20 minus y. That's where it came from, 20 minus y, if you like. X equals 20 minus y, or 20 minus 13, which equals 7. Now we are told that if we were to add 110 to one of them, the result is 9 times the other. So if we were to add 110, if you were to add 110 to 13, we get 123. That quantity better equal 9 times 7. And it does not. 9 times 7 9 times 7 is 63. It does not. So we messed it up. We mixed up the two numbers, didn't we? So let's add. So one number is 13. Let's add 110 to 7. 110 to 7 gives us 120. And does that equal 9 times the other? 13 times 9. Something is going on. What's going on here? 110 added to 13. 110 added to 7 is not 120. I'm not doing it right. It's 117. There we go. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry 2. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. And there we go. Now they do equal. So the mistake that I made was that I added up 13 to 110. It is not the 13 that is being added to 110. It is the x. Oh, right here. See, right here. I made a mistake there. I'm going to point it out to you. What mistake was that? It is the x that equals 7. It is the x to which 110 is being added. Right here. It is the x which we found to be 7. It is the x to which 110 is being added. I should have added 110 to the x, because that's what this equation is, not this part. This was wrong, which is why it does not equal 63. So when I was doing the verification, I wasn't paying attention. It is the x to which we should add 7, and we get 117, and that quantity, the problem tells us, has to equal 9 times the other. 9 times the other, well, if x is 7, the other quantity is y. This is your y. And 13 times 9 has to equal 117, because we know that 13 times 10 is 130, and 130 minus 17 would have to be 117. 130 minus 13, because 130 minus 10 is 120, and therefore 110 minus 13, 3 more if you were to take away, then you will end up from 120 to 3 less than that, 117. Well, I hope any of this is making sense to you, and of course you can always rewind it and listen to it one more time. I may make boo-boo once in a while, as I just did a little while ago, but anyway, this is it. It's verified. The answer is correct. It does work. It does work because 110 added to 7, 110 added to one of them being the 7, 110 added to one of them does equal 9 times the other. That's all. I will see you tomorrow on day number 120. Our very last problem for the project that I embarked on about 2 months ago. And then after that, I don't know if I want to continue this thing. I'll decide that in a couple of days, whether or not I want to continue with this thing. There is a lot more work to do. We have just scratched the surface of algebra. This is the most basic, the most fundamental concepts of algebra. There is a lot more that we need to learn. The next topic that we need to cover is simultaneous equation. Then we need to do the word problem dealing with simultaneous equations. And then we need to do quadratic equations. We need to do a hell of a lot more stuff, many more topics that are there. We have barely scratched the surface of elementary algebra in these 200 videos. But anyway, that was a start. I'll see you tomorrow on day 200. Okay? Bye now.